Namaste, Radhe Radhe. Nice to see you tonight. Let's talk about Krishna and our relationship with Krishna. I was inspired to do that today. And well, what brings me to it is, well, let's say I have some life struggles at the moment, serious life struggles. And like, losing, for example, my daughter, which is very close to me. And, we were like best friends. She was my best friend. And so I had a lot of thoughts about, achievement in life, ambition, and also fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, not creating enough in life. And the thought which came was that, Krishna had like lots of children. He had 16,108 wives because he had to take them on because he basically went to kill a king who was stealing all those 16,000 wives. And when he killed that king, those wives, those ladies basically said, those princesses said, no other man will ever take us because we were stolen by that king. You have to take us on now because it will be, it will be kind of like nobody will take us because we have been, robbed by that king. So Krishna had no other chance than to take them on and give them shelter, which he did. And there's obviously the story where Narad Muni, which is the saint which travels through the universe, went to visit those 16,108 queens of Krishna. And he saw one Krishna in every wife. There was not like one for all of them, but there was one Krishna for every wife. So it's not something, an ordinary person can copy, because then you have to make lots of copies of yourself to copy what he did. It's actually also says in Shrimad Bhagavatam that if somebody, tries to copy the things which he's doing, that's like, same like when Shiva was drinking the poison, the Halala poison, and the demons and the devas, the gods, were churning the ocean. The first thing which came out was a poison, and Shiva was kind enough to drink that poison, but nobody else could do that. So it would be like trying to copy Shiva and drinking that poison. That would not be an advisable thing to do. So, but the thing is this, he had lots of children with those 16,000 wives. I assume it must be like, if each lady had 10 children, so I don't know the exact number, I would assume that would be like 160,000 children. And we obviously know what happened to them. It's well described in the Mahabharata scripture, which is the Maha means large, Bharat means India. And there is a king called Bharata. And basically what happened was that they were cursed to die by a certain weapon. And that also happened, like basically all his children died, or they killed each other because of that curse. And so that leaves us with the thought, he didn't leave any children behind. His achievement was gone, everything was gone. And the idea there was basically he wanted to take his family back to heaven. So he didn't leave anybody behind because he knew it will be quite bad, this planet. Everything is going downhill. There's the dark age of the so-called Kali Yuga is starting. So he didn't leave anybody behind of his family. He took everybody with him. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying to do your job, do your work, do your duty, but don't be attached at the result of it, because you don't know, basically the result is not in your hand. Let's say in his case, the result was all his children killed each other and went back to heaven. And in the same way, like, in our case, we don't know what's going to happen. We just do our work, we do our contribution, we give our best. He says in Bhagavad Gita, don't be attached to non-action, to laziness, to, kind of let go and retire or become a saint. You have to do your work, do the work. That's Bhagavad Gita, that's Krishna saying that. And I can just quickly say that the reason for that is he's basically saying we are human material bodies, and for us the best way to relate or to come closer and connect to Krishna is through action, simply because we are physical beings. That's why he recommends action as a path to attain him and to come closer to him. So the different path or yogas, if you want different types of yogas. There's the knowledge, but he recommends the so-called bhakti yoga, which is actually the bhakti means love from the heart, service, and he recommends that path because there you basically serve, you're acting, you're doing things, you're offering food, you're offering lights, you're singing, you're dancing, you're remembering the stories of Krishna, you're physically engaged, you're serving others, you're talking about the philosophy, you're doing your job and dedicating the fruits of the job to Krishna. You're having children and dedicating that, and wives, and dedicating everything to him. Because he's saying, the result or the experience will be twofold. It will be sometimes pleasant, sometimes unpleasant, suffering, and that comes and goes like the seasons. There's winter, there's summer, it just comes and goes. So if you continuously do your work, eventually a good and a bad result will come. So you just carry on. You're not attached at the result, and you don't take it personal, whatever comes out. You just do your job. That's the Bhagavad Gita. It's Nishkaam, means calm means work, unattached work, which means non-action. Nishkaam means non-action. You're doing work without being attached at the result, at the money, at the honor, at the suffering which comes out from the your action. And just do it because it's necessary. And it is a confusing concept. You can see Arjun himself, the best friend of Krishna, he's struggling a lot understanding that concept of non-action. And at the end he just says, look, okay, just tell me what to do. He's surrendering, and he's obviously confused, and just says, okay, tell me what to do. You're saying do this, like everything is an illusion, give everything up. And on the other hand, you say we have to do action. It's very confusing, so just tell me what to do. And Krishna actually says, look, you are a warrior. Your wife was seriously shamed by your relatives, the bad, your enemies, which are relatives. They were seriously shamed, and you're standing now here with your family, fighting the other part of your family, and they basically didn't give you this as much land as to place a needle to live on. They really They're just, basically revengeful family members, cousins. So you have to, you will anyway do it. You will anyway fight, because that's your nature. Your nature is to fight, to defend, to protect, to be active. You're passionate. You're full of passion, full of drive, full of energy. You anyway will do that. So just go for it. Just do it. Take the action. Do the war. Do the fight. Stand up and fight. Krishna says, stand up and fight, because Arjun was confused, giving up, sitting down, dropping his bow and arrow and saying, I'm not going to fight. This is my family. Those are my cousins, my teacher. How can I fight them? Even, if let them have the land, let them have, it's all right. If I'm going to kill all them, we will produce lots of widows, and there will be, orphan children. There will be, the whole society will be damaged, and there will be unrest and impurity and unwanted children, so unwanted pregnancies. So we let them have it. I go for a pilgrimage. I'm not going to fight in this. It's unethical to fight your own family. And Krishna says, no, he says it's your duty. You're here, you anyway have to do it. It's your nature to do that war. It's your calling. It's a good service. Even if you die here, you will go to heaven, because you're fighting for a good cause. You're fighting for for family, for So he's saying, don't be weak, don't be confused, stop crying, stand up, fight. It doesn't suit you to behave like that. People will laugh at you. They will say, he left because of as a coward, because of fear. Nobody will understand that. This is the key crucial war. This is the biggest war probably in the next 10,000 years, and you're running away. You can't do that. Nobody will understand that. I know it's like a Trojan war. You just you have to show up there. It's you can't walk from that. And if you walk from that, nobody will understand and will make fun of you. And that will be worse. That shame will be worse than having to die. So you have no option. You have to fight. And if you don't fight, you will repent it forever. And so that's our situation, where we have to do our action. We have to do our contribution. We might not like it. We might not understand it. It doesn't make sense really to do all that. But we have to fight, show up. We're now in that situation. Let's say I'm an eye doctor. I would, sometimes I prefer to just let it go. But I assume now I'm in that situation. I have now that training. I have to show up and do my job, and I can do it in my own way. I can teach. I can empower other people to do the work, and employ people and help others. But I have to show up. I have to just do the work. Sometimes it's difficult to understand why am I in this situation, a job you don't like, and situations it's difficult, and you lost dear people, and then you think why did that all happen? What's the purpose? And I think the answer is we just don't know. We don't know. You know, I mean, Arjun didn't know why that huge war is, why his family is doing all that. We just don't know. We just have to show up. I mean, it's not anybody's fault in that sense. It's just I assume it's a Leela. Leela means play. I know in the Indian or Hindu scriptures they always talk about play and Leelas, which it's hard to understand. Or there's no understanding that it's just a play, and we play a part of it. And I guess it's about emotion, and it's about relationship. It's about relationship. So, in that sense, the purpose, of that war was that. Well, I'm speculating now, but I'm saying, if you look at the outcome, the most important conversation between Krishna, God, and his student happened at the beginning of that war, right? That's like the Bible for the Hindus. It's the Bhagavad Gita, the song. Gita means song. Bhagavan is God. Was spoken at that moment, right before that war. So it was a moment of peak significance, of peak trouble, and that was the stage for the most significant speech or conversation ever. So now I guess we can just speculate what was all the purpose, and often, in those scriptures, in those stories, there are several purposes. Why, for example, why did Krishna appear on the planet? There's several purposes, not just one, and everybody has a different reason, right? A different understanding, different conclusion why something happened. So, what should we talk about? Okay, let me show you this. What I have here is the Oracle of Ram. And, well, I basically bought that in a moment of despair. Where I kind of just thought, I don't know what to do. You tell me what to do. And which is the similar situation like Arjun and Krishna, where again Arjun said, okay, you tell me, I don't know. I'm giving up. You tell me what to do. So this is basically Ramayan. Ramayan is the story of Ramachandra, which is the one we always celebrate at Diwali. It's the festival of the light. And let's see what we've got here. So that's number 2. It's actually a beautiful one. So it's a festival of the light. We celebrate that, which is actually the return of Ramchandra, which is the king and God, incarnation of God, manifestation of God on this planet, with the purpose again to fulfill as play a Leela, or kill demons, give happiness to his devotees, and perform a certain task, like a duty, be the king, rule a country, And so, I mean, let's just take this one here. So we have here basically, you can see the number 2 here. Then you have the number 6 here and the number 2 here. So that's basically a random. So this number 2 here refers to this number 2 down here. And the text to it is, devotion and the retreat in nature bring joy. So I'm just, it's a very nice situation. So I'm anyway going to read this quickly here. So it's the deep retreat where basically Ramachandra was with his wife and his brother, like Sita and Lakshman had to leave into the forest because of his stepmother basically wanted them to leave so that her son could be the king. So let's find that here. So, and that's the thing which I have realized, you know, using this book, which is, you know, Ramchandra and his, you know, Sita, they went through like unimaginable suffering and problems. Like nobody of us ever is going through something like that. But he, and it didn't go better. Like even after, like, you know, we celebrate Diwali where he comes back and is the king. You know, it wasn't over then, because I have not read Ramayan. I kind of, you know, learned it now through this. What happened was the ministers were against Sita coming back, because they basically said she was with that demon Ravan and she's impure now. She's, you know, she's nobody knows what happened there. Then she said, okay, let's test her. We will basically put her in the fire. If she survives the fire, she's pure. If she, you know, if she dies, then she wasn't pure. She survived that fire. Still, they didn't, you know, accept that, and banned her together with her 2 children into the forest. And I think that was like another, whatever, many years, maybe 10 years. They had to go in the forest. The 2 sons of Ramchandra had to live with, you know, like a single mother almost. They had to live in the forest while he was the king. He had to perform his duty as a king. Then they came back to the king's court, and then they were praising him, you know, reciting poems for the honor of Ram. And I think they still refused her, and she was, you know, Sita was fed up and said, okay, I'm going back into the earth. That's where I'm coming from. Sita means the plowing, the line, the plowing line in the field. She comes from there. I will go back to the earth. You know, I had enough. And Ram said, okay, I'll come with you. I have enough to buy everyone. But he had then to stay and perform his duty as a king, which is, you know, I mean, that's not a happy life. That's horrible situation. So yeah, he's worse off than me and us, definitely. Let's read this. 262. On the silvery rocks of the river Mundakini, Sita and Ram forever dwell in playful love. Sacred to devotees of Ram, this place sparks the bliss of devotion. Devotion, retreat in nature, contemplation, and happiness are available for those who truly seek them at this time. A very happy and leisurely state of affairs is indicated, characterized by love. I mean, I would say that's one of the most beautiful, you know, verses. I saw in this book, absolutely. And the reason is because they are alone, there's nobody disturbing, they are in nature, they can live their playful love together, Sita and Ram, as a couple. And there are the rocks, the beautiful silvery rocks, there's the river there, nature, and that couple, enjoying themselves. And this is sacred to us devotees of Ram. And this sparks this bliss of devotion in us, this wish of serving. I mean, this is really the most beautiful verse, I think, which I can think about now in this book. I mean, there's many, like, obviously there's the marriage coming together, but this is like where they enjoy together in peace, alone, undisturbed, in nature, at the river with the stones, the rocks. This is really an amazing verse. The explanation to this verse is: devotion, retreat in nature, contemplation, and happiness are available for those who truly seek them at this time. A very happy and leisurely state of affairs is indicated, characterized by love. Amazing. Let me read the next one. Go to the sacred site of Chitrakuta. You will receive the blessings of Sita and Ram, and gain much for little effort. This indication destroys all sorrow. That's another, there are many indications. Let's go back to that first verse. I really think this is the pinnacle. This is the top beautiful situation in this book, or maybe even in the life of Ramchandra, where he is with his wife, in peace, alone. It's a very romantic situation, very peaceful, beautiful situation. Let me read it again. On the silvery rocks of the river Mandakini, Sita and Ram forever dwell in playful love. And that's why they dwell there forever. This is the pinnacle. I just realize it now. That's why they're there forever. So maybe we should go once to that river and have a look, because they are there forever. They're not leaving that place, because everywhere else there's trouble, there's conflict, there's jealousy, there's distrust. But that place, that's where they dwell forever. I didn't realize that. On the silvery rocks of the river Mandakini, Sita and Ram forever dwell in playful love. Sacred to devotees of Ram, this place sparks the bliss of devotion. So, if you want to, get that love for God, that's the place which sparks that bliss of devotion. Because of its purity, because of its untouchedness. Because that's where they are themselves. Everywhere else they have to, it's an official situation, they're representing, they're playing a role of a king, of a queen. But on this place, nobody's watching, and it's just themselves in playful love, and they are there forever. They're not leaving that, because outside of that place, it's there's struggle. There are also nice friendships. There are nice sacrifices and friendships and companions, but still, this is the pinnacle of love and devotion for us devotees. So I would like to invite you to meditate on that, to think about that. So imagine, our Ram and Sita at this river on the rocks, alone, holding hands, singing, dancing, maybe walking through the water, seeing the birds. Nobody's there, arm in arm. That's our Sita and Ram, and we can serve them like that. We can be there and serve them, because he allows that. Like his real devotees who just want his happiness, he allows them to be and participate in his intimate moments. That's exclusive thing for us. And this meditation can bring us to that place where we can participate in that very special moment. On the silvery rocks of the river Mandakini, Sita and Ram forever dwell in playful love. Sacred to devotees of Ram, this place sparks the bliss of devotion. This is really, I didn't realize, this is the pinnacle, this is the top. And that's why they never leave from that place. And we can be there for them. That's at the end the aim. So this is the place we want to go. That's what we want to achieve. That's why we serve Ram and Sita. Because we want to be there with them. And now you see where we're going, like what's the aim. It's a beautiful thing. It's a playful love. It's not a serious, thing. It's a playful, beautiful, romantic thing in nature. That's where we're going. That's what he has, and that's what he wants for himself, and what he enjoys most himself. We will also enjoy that. We will enjoy that as well. So let's go there. Join him there. Meditate about it. This is the top highest thing. That's what he's forever doing. He's not going anywhere else, right? That's what he wants. That's what he wants. And because it's God, it's like the different times and dimensions. So he's there. He's never leaving there, really. So we can go there and be part of that. Now, I'm actually more a Krishna devotee. And the same goes with Krishna. He also, like one day I thought, his favorite job is to be a cowherd, right? So if he likes to do that, what about me? I might also like that, actually. So yeah, think about it. If he likes it, what about us? We might like it too. If he says, that's the best thing, that those are the cutest animals, the cows, and they're my favorite, and that's what I'm going to do all day long. Look after them and watch them eat grass and milk them, and that's he basically made him his favorite job. So what about us? We might like it as well. So yeah, I'm thinking about that. So yeah, it's a thing, if you obviously all the time think about Krishna and learn about him and read about him, I obviously want to be like him. Yeah, I mean be like him. Yeah. This, now I obviously have to say, okay, let's talk about that. So, and that goes also for Ram. We actually want to be his, if you like, girlfriends. We want to be his wives and gopis. Gopis means milkmaids. So there's the like cowboys, and then there's the milkmaids, and the gopis, gopas and gopis. Go means cow. And so we want to be his gopis, his companions. And because, well, we basically learn from the stories, from the scriptures, that's the best. And, they basically say that's the best. You can be his friends, you can be his, guy friends, but, or parents, you can be his parents, you can be his servants, you can be an animal. You can take any role you want, you can be the grass on which he walks. But the bumblebees which fly around them, or his flute, there's lots of things. I'm not sure if you can be his flute, maybe not. But yeah, the recommendation is to be his, his gopis, his girlfriends, his sakhis means female friends. Sakhis of Radharani, like his companion. So that's where most of us, like the most of the devotees of Krishna, like all those Hare Krishnas, that's where we're heading. Most of us are heading towards that. Our aim is to become gopis of Krishna. And it's kind of interesting, and well, in Vrindavan, like his place, there is actually a lake called something like Narada Muni Narada Sarovar, something like that, which is the lake of Narad Muni, and the benediction of that lake, what I heard, is if you take a dip there, then you can receive that female form, that female gopi form, that girlfriend form. That's the blessing of that lake. And obviously I took a dip there when I was 16 with my dad and my brother. So I guess I'm qualified now for that. And it's also, I also know that it's I also have that desire for that. So all of us are heading towards that, or like most of us, let's say 99% of the Krishna devotees are aiming for that. It's that relationship of God, God as male and us as females, having an intimate relationship. And obviously it's not that easy. There's lots of rules there. It's and I will still know a little about how that actually works out. But from what I understand, there's basically Radharani, which is his main companion, like his main, I'm not sure if expansion is the right word, but his main split or separation. And all of us serve her. So we are actually servants to her and under her guidance and control. So we're not even looking, or some, like the different groups, but some of those groups are actually looking at Radharani and serving her, and we're not even interested in Krishna. And we are kind of against him, kind of, pushing him away. But we are serving Radharani, and she is then doing with us whatever she wants. Like she's then she's in charge of us, and then we basically do whatever she says. And she's obviously very nice. She's very very nice, and compassionate and, caring for us. So it's definitely worth, the while. And she basically wants our happiness and does everything for us, and lets us be also with Krishna for our happiness. So that's Hinduism, that's Krishna. We're always heading for the best, for the highest and best, and the scriptures and our gurus, they guide us in that, and they say, look, there's always something higher, something higher, something higher. Go for that, and then we say, okay, let's go for that, and then we connect and learn, and that's how it is. That's how it is. I mean, there are people who say, they say like there's only one male in Vrindavan, and that's Krishna. Everybody else are females, because it's all guarded by his gopis, especially the Ras Leela place, which is Vrindavan, is actually the place where the Ras Leela, which means the dance between Krishna and Radha, is taking place. So there are no males allowed. There's only females allowed. And the biggest male obviously is Shiva, and he had two choices: either stay outside or take a female form and enjoy the dance with Krishna. And because Shiva does everything for Krishna, he's the biggest devotee of Krishna, because he's an expansion of Krishna. So there's Krishna, and then, well, it's complex, but then there's Vishnu, and then there's Shiva, and as an expansion, and he does everything for Krishna. He's a servant. Like Hanuman is one of the manifestations of Shiva, and Hanuman does everything for Ram. So Shiva again, he just does everything for Krishna, and in this situation he's taking the female form of a gopi, and is then known as Gopeshvar. Ishwar means Ishwara is one of the names of Shiva, and as a controller of the universe, Ishwar is the highest controller of the universe, taking the female form to please Krishna, but it's both ways, also to interact with him, to have a relationship with him, and enjoy that Ras Leela, which is incredible, beautiful. So they're like goddesses watching from the heaven above in their planes, and they just say, they drop unconscious because of beautiful, passionate play which is happening. And again, Krishna is very, I would say, inviting, sharing, I would say, open for the pleasure of everyone. So in a positive way. And obviously it's a difficult to understand situation, but once again, there is a Krishna for every gopi, so try to copy that. And the gopis think they are alone with Krishna. That's how they feel, and I would say that's a reality. Like they are alone with Krishna, each of them enjoying having their own Krishna. And there are millions of gopis, right? Or maybe tens of millions. Or hundreds of millions. It's incredible. And they're dancing, they're singing, they're holding hands, they're eating together, they're relaxing, they're laughing, and then he leaves them. He leaves them for a month and leaves them in the forest alone. I mean, first he actually tells him to go home. He tells him, okay, it's good you came. He's playing the flute. He's playing the flute, which is, the flute is like this. It's like so melodious, like the bamboo flute. You can do melodies with it, and those sounds which go up and down, which you can't do with any other instrument, right? It's very difficult to play. It's just a bamboo, but it's very difficult to play. Like there's so much, things in there. Like poetry, it's so smooth and absolutely captivating, right? It's just absolutely captivating. Like it kind of it pulls your heart out, right? It's like a heart surgery. And those gopis, they just run, right? They just have to run towards him. They leave everything. Like, I mean, it's some are breastfeeding children, some are cooking, some are with their parents. They just all leave, right? It's absolutely incredible. Like it's just beyond. It's like it's irresistible for those saints. I mean, those are the highest saints, right? In female forms. Like that's what we aspire to. Like they're different positions, but that's one of the positions we aspire to. So they're just, they're so drawn, pulled towards Krishna. Yeah, they just run, and they forget everything. It's like, yeah, and then they go to see him, and a bit shy, scratching the floor with their toes, and Krishna says, it's very nice, you came, thank you for coming, and honoring that, and but I think you should go back. Like it's no, it's not appropriate. It's dark. It's night. Your families are missing you. Your children are crying. Just go back. It's not appropriate, and nobody will understand. And it's good you came, but just go back. And those girls and ladies, they gave up everything, right? They gave all the respect and honor and families, and they gave up everything for him, right? And now he's saying that, and basically sending them back, and they're devastated. They're absolutely devastated by those harsh words, and they say, look, you can't do that. You can't send us back. You just you have to keep us. We gave up everything for you. You can't do that now. That's cruel. So he says, okay. I mean, he has no choice. They just say, look, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. We gave up everything for you. And that's a Leela. I know it's difficult to understand, and I would say, it's basically about peak emotion, peak experience, and basically putting as much hurdles and tension and problems between them and Krishna to enhance the emotion, right? It's emotion of surrender, of complete, you're everything for me. I'm giving up everything. I'm just running towards you, and there's so much things holding me back. Basically family holding me back, and okay. That's something I have realized, kind of felt when I was reading Garga Samhita, a very beautiful book, where there are many different groups of gopis, different groups of gopis which serve Krishna. the young ones, basically those which they live with their dad, and then he asks, and they basically he takes them all away, the daughters from their very saintly dad, and they're very happy. It's a good situation where they come to him straight from their dad. Well, it's basically there's one king. He has, I think, 1,000 wives, and then he had whatever 10,000 daughters with them. Not a single son, but because all of his daughters went to Krishna as let's say wives, they said all that comes now like one son, so you will get the blessing of all that. So, but the craziest gopis are the married ones. It's just the most intensive emotion there, because of all the things between, which is holding them back to be with Krishna. And I'm just making another bracket now, which is there's also the situation where there was Krishna as a boy, like as a small child. He was playing with his friends, and then his friends said, "We're hungry, we would like to eat something. You're our Krishna, you have to organize some food." So Krishna said, "Okay, look, they are the Brahmins, the priests. They're making a big sacrifice for the gods, so they have all the food. Go to them and ask them for food. They have loads." So they went there, and I think the priest did not even talk to those children, and basically ignored them and said, "No, we're busy here doing our very important sacrifice, our offering," which was actually for the we could say like demigods, like inferior gods. So it's like the rain god, or which is, and sacrifices in that sense that gives you Swarg Lokas, which is the heavenly planets. And so the heavenly planets, which is inferior, that's a place where we still have to come back. It's very enjoyable. You get lots of you get women there. There's some kind of amrit, some kind of like alcohol there. Like it's a good time, and it's a good party, but it is heaven. But when your punyas, your merits are used up, you have to come back, suffer, and it's basically a temporary Las Vegas until you used up your merits. And so that's what they were doing to get there, and so they were completely ignored, the children. And so they went back, children went back to the Gopas, went back to Gopa friends, went back to Krishna and said, they're not giving us anything, they're ignoring us. And that was to show, that was a demonstration. Krishna said, "Okay, go to their wives and ask them for the food." So they went to their wives. They went, they went crazy. They all ran. They took all the food they had and just ran towards Krishna and brought everything they could. Because, they loved him, obviously. And, the moment they heard he's here, they just took everything and ran. And they were absolutely, they were crazy. And one of them was held back by whatever husband was held back, was not allowed to go. And she embraced Krishna within her. She was meditating on Krishna and embraced him inside. And she couldn't hold her body, like she left her body. She died in that moment and went back to Krishna to be with him. That's the intensity of, emotion. That's what we're talking about. And so all the wives ran towards Krishna and brought him all the food and enjoyed the company with him. And he said, thanks for bringing everything, but please go back. He's sending them that back. It's not appropriate. It's not the time. There will be, I think he says in the future there will be an opportunity, but it's not now. So please go back. And he was young, obviously. He was a child. And then they kind of dragged themselves back. And then, their husbands realize what they have missed out. And they obviously they were hitting themselves. They were like, that's a big thing. It's like, basically God is there and you're busy serving inferior gods to get a temporary blessing. It's like ridiculous, right? So but they did not go to see Krishna because Kamsa, which is a bad, dangerous king, was, it was too dangerous for them to go. Like they thought they felt it's too dangerous to go. So imagine that. They had the knowledge. They understood what's going on. They know God is there. The one we adore is there. But they're not going to see him because they're afraid of, a very dangerous king. Like a demonic, dangerous. Yes, it's true. It was very dangerous. But those gopis, those ladies, nothing could hold them back. Nothing. The families, the dishonor, the bad king, the forest, the distance, nothing. They just all ran. Nothing could hold them back. So it's a different level. I mean, it's a different level of devotion, of love, of dedication, of surrender. And that's what it is about. And that's what Krishna is showing in those stories. And yes, it leads to lots of misunderstanding, Krishna and the ladies and all that. It's like, many don't understand what's going on there. But that's another story from Garga Samhita. Oh goodness. So basically, one night, Krishna came very late to see his girlfriends, the gopis, and then they were really annoyed with him and said, why are you letting us wait like this? It's already so late. It's not fair. We were missing you, and you only, whatever, show up so late. It's like, what's that? What's going on here? And he said, I'm really sorry, but I was with my guru, my teacher, and that's why I'm late. And they said, oh wow, oh my God, we want to meet him, we want to see him as well. Can we see him? And he said, yes, he's on the other side of the river. And they said, oh wow. They started gathering all the food and preparing food to bring to their guru, to his guru. But then they said, oh, how can we cross the river? There's like that huge river, Yamuna river. It is a huge, huge, big river. How can we cross that river? It's impossible. Then he said, okay, just say to the river, if Krishna is detached celibate, then open the way and let us go through. And they were kind of laughing and didn't think, kind of, what's that? But okay, we will say that. So they went, said that thing. If Krishna is a renounced, detached celibate, which means doesn't have any interaction with ladies, open the river so that we can walk through. And that happened. So they went to see, oh my god, they went to see his guru, and his name is I'll tell you his name. And then they were with him and giving him all the food. Durvasa Muni, because Durvasa is the grass. Muni means saint. It's a special type of saint, is Muni, and Durvasa is the grass. So he only eats grass, and he's a form of Shiva. He's very, he's the most powerful guru, right? He's really he's one of the, I think, Sapta Rishis, the 7 Rishis, those stars, the 7, I think the Pleiades. It's one of him is there. So he's a very most powerful saint, and often gets angry, and then he gets into trouble, like with Ambarisha Maharaj, where he was trying to he took his hair, he felt disrespected by Ambarish. He took his hair, created a huge demon to destroy Ambarish, and then Vishnu sent his Sudarshan Chakra, which is time, to kill that demon and Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni was running from that wheel, and then went to all the gods, and at the end to Vishnu, and saying, please rescue me from this wheel, it's destroying me. And then Vishnu said, I can't do anything, you have to, only Ambarish, my devotee, can save you, so ask him for forgiveness. So he went to him, back to Ambarish, the king, the saintly king, the devotee king, and said, please, forgive me for trying to kill you. And then Ambarish said, stop to that Sudarshan Chakra, and saved, saved Durvasa Muni. So basically he said, the gopis were there, and then bringing all the food, and he said, well, thanks a lot, but I'm not eating all that. I'm only eating grass. I'm not eating sweets and all that. I'm a saint. I'm renounced. And then they were really disappointed and said, oh, we made all that food and sweets, and what should we do now? We really want to serve you. It's you are our Krishna's guru. We have to give you this food. It's for you. What else can we do for you? And then Durvasa Muni said, okay, good, fine, just put it all in my mouth. If you want. So that's what they did. They put all the food in his mouth, and he ate everything and was very happy and enjoyed. And then they said, okay, we want to go back now. How will we go back? Because there's that huge river, Yamuna River. We can't go back now. And then Durvasa Muni said, if you just say, if Durvasa Muni only survives on grass, open that river. And then again they were laughing. He just ate all those sweets and food, and now he's saying that. But they were polite, and so they didn't say anything. But just maybe smiled. So they went to the river, said that if Durvasa Muni only survives on grass, please open that river and let us pass. And that's what's happened. So it opened. And then they went to Krishna and said, what's going on here? All night long you're playing with us, enjoying with us. We have so many girlfriends and all that. And he just ate all those sweets, and what's going on here? That doesn't make sense. And then Krishna said, yeah, it's true. It's like that. I'm not here because I'm not here for me. I'm not here because I need this. I'm not here with you because of me. I don't need this. And he also doesn't need your food. He's fine. He's fine eating grass. He doesn't need all that. And me as well. I'm fine, being alone. I'm here because of you. I'm not doing that for myself. I'm a renounced celibate. Just imagine that. He's only See, that's the thing about our Krishna, our God. He's it's hard for me to say that. How to say that? You know what I mean? I can't say it. I think it's a secret. Why that is? It's a secret. But you will get there. You have to be humble. You have to read. You have to think. You have to, keep studying. But there's a secret there, and I can't say it now. Which explains all that. Which explains about our Krishna. Okay, so you just carry on studying, and there's a big secret. I mean, Shrimad Bhagavatam. Start with that. Shrimad Bhagavatam. There's a very beautiful. If you put Shrimad Bhagavatam Canto, 1. There's a narration where they read it, and you can just listen it. It's by ISKCON, so you can just, and it's old, and it's a beautiful, just a text. Listen to that, or read it, please. That's the thing, just do it. Just listen to that, and then you will get there, right? You will learn about those secrets about Krishna. But it's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. He's the best God. He's the all-attractive Krishna. So serve him. And I think it's reading the stories. That's the way to develop a connection, a relationship with Krishna, is to learn and read the stories. So start there. That's the most beautiful thing. I mean, there are some movies as well. They're not. I don't think the movies are good. I have not seen a single good movie, including cartoons like Little Krishna. I don't like any of them. It's maybe not a story, but it's disrespectful. Like any of those are disrespectful for Krishna, like showing him as a thief, as a uncontrolled, angry, as a human. And the demons are always very powerful and very nicely presented. The demons are always very nicely presented, and he's not well presented. And especially the demigods like Indra, Brahma, they're very badly presented. And demons are always very well presented. So it's obvious what's going on there. So it's more a celebration of demonic entities. And I can't recommend any of them. I mean, even Krishna is showed from behind, and what I have learned is you should never look at Krishna's back, because that's where all the demons are. They're in his back, and that's exactly what they show you. So it's many things like that. It's how it is. So you can't maybe one day we will make a better movie. It's maybe better than nothing, but so listen to the Shrimad Bhagavatam. It's very powerful, very beautiful. You will get there the essence. I mean the Ras Leela, everything is in there, all the romantic stories. Actually I want to make the bow now again. So we're going back to the Ras Leela. So he was dancing with them, having a good time. But what happened was his gopis then started to think, we're the best ladies, nobody else is able to be with Krishna like we are. And it's a bit of a pride coming up. And I think they also got kind of tired, from all the dancing and all that. They were a bit of tired and kind of relaxing and, kind of, taking it a notch down. And then Krishna disappeared, right? Together with Radharani, both disappeared, left the gopis behind. And And then actually Krishna was having a conversation with Radharani, where he's telling her all the stories. And those stories are in the book Brahma Vaivarta Puran. And those are very passionate love stories. Crazy love stories, like the most craziest I've ever heard. Horrible. Horrible, some are beautiful. And because it's a passionate book, I mean, Brahma Vaivarta Puran is a passionate book, or it's in the, so yeah, and it's absolutely recommend, in my opinion, I highly recommend to read that. It's very, very beautiful. The story of Tulsi is in there, lots of goddesses, Ganesh, lots of stories are in there, and those love stories, and about Radha, about the gopis, there's a lot in there. And all the other goddesses, Savitri, there's so much inside. Must read, and you can download it. You can download it on the internet. So, and then he also leaves her, right? He basically says, they're walking through the forest. Radharani says, "Oh, I'm tired. Just carry me and go wherever you want. I don't care. I'm just tired." And then he said, "Okay, climb on this tree and then jump on my shoulders." So she climbs on that tree, and then he vanishes. And obviously she's also, devastated. And that tree is, by the way, it's next to the Radha Raman temple in Vrindavan. There's a tree, that tree is there. And that's why she's shouting Radha Raman. Radha means, well, that's her name, and Raman means lover, like, my lover, where are you? Raman, where are you? And that's what she's shouting there. And then for a month he leaves them alone in the forest, like from one full moon to the next full moon. And I mean, that's incredible if you think. It's incredible. It's very tough, but, well, I mean, look, at this stage, it's between him and them. It's between him and his gopis. I mean, that has nothing to do with anybody. That's not, that's beyond. That's the highest, topmost level. That's beyond, of any of us understanding or judging that, what's going on. But Krishna, he always says, you will not develop the love for Krishna by being with him, like through close proximity, like being close to him or seeing him. That's not the thing which gives you the love. It's, well, he says, I think, Shravanam Kirtanam. It's that famous verse of, I think, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which means we have to remember Krishna. Which is, Shravanam is remember. Kirtanam means make singing about him. And like surrender to him. Oh goodness, I forgot all the points. Shravanam, Kirtanam. Like listening, exchanging, talking about him, remembering him, singing about him, and then completely surrendering to him, right? That's how you become a devotee. That's how you develop the love for him. And then there's one thing that's the thing which you have to do, and there's one thing which you should not do, which destroys your love for Krishna and keeps you from weeping while chanting his name, and that's the offense against other devotees, right? That's the one thing which it's inexcusable. So he cannot excuse that. Inexcusable. That's the one thing we have to avoid. So if we cannot cry and we have a hard heart, it's because of that. We have offended another devotee. And it happens, I guess it happens to most people. So because life is long and we get into troubles, with each other, and I'm not an exception. And with disrespect, other devotees, and that's the one thing he doesn't like. That's the one thing he can't stand. So you have to forgive it. You have to give it up. You have to ask for forgiveness. That's the one thing. So there's no excuse. Even the worst person, your horrible ex-husband or ex-wife, or the competing guru. Some don't like Prabhupada, some don't like that guru. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot offend any other devotee. Even if they do silly things, bad things, they take drugs, they go to prostitutes, you can't do it. You can't do it. So, that's the thing. Okay. Where are we? So, yeah, so basically the gopis are alone in the forest on their own for a month. And they're going crazy, right? They just have left everybody, the same day they have just left all their family, children, everything, they have left it. And now they are with him in the forest. And then he left them. Imagine that. You just did everything for him and then he leaves you. But they know what's going on. I mean, they understand, okay, we were getting lazy, we were getting kind of, carry us wherever you want, or let me relax a bit, I'm getting tired, and we're the best, we're the highest, they are, obviously they are the highest, and then they get, they start to realize that, and then he knows, look, the moment you think that it's over, like, the love, the intensity, the relationship, the intensity, the love, the power, the surrender is reduced, right? And he knows that, so he's absolutely strict there. And I mean, he probably suffers more than them, to having to leave them. But he knows he has to do that. He has to leave them to develop their love again, right? He has to leave them for a month. There's no choice. Like, he had to do that, and it's it's a lesson, it's a training, it's to intensify the love, yes, all that, and to humble them. It's a humbling. But it's those are his gopis, those are his devotees. He has to do what's necessary, right? That's a different level. So he has the right on that. He has he basically knows what's necessary. It's his obligation to do that. And I was distracted. I was looking at the boxes, thinking about them. So let me bring my mind back. There's one more thing I wanted to say. Yeah, but I think I kind of said that the craziest gopis are the married ones, right? Because of the obstacles in between. And for the, let's say, the lower minds who say, yeah, how come he be with a married lady? And then there's always like things around which say, well, he made copies of them, so the copies were still with the husbands, and and the real ones were with Krishna. And there's like explanation for everything that you can kind of say. Okay, it was for us normal people, we say like, okay, fine, it was it's acceptable somehow. But see, it's about that. It's about intensity of love, right? And experience, and that's Leela. That's the a play. It's a play, right? It's a play because yes, in the end we're all one, right? Let's say they're husbands, and basically their husbands are extension of Krishna, and the gopis are extensions of Radha, and we're all anyway extensions of both of them. Everything and all the material, world, all the matter around here, it's extensions of them. Yes, we're all one anyway. So in that sense, adultery doesn't exist in that sense. I mean, it's an illusion, right? But it's not, right? It does exist, yes. But it was, in their situation, it was about emotion, right? It was about that. And it's their play, right? And it's a different level. It's a completely different level. It's Krishna's own play. And as I said, he's not selfish. He's not doing that for his own enjoyment. He's doing that as a service. It is a service. Yeah, she's doing. And restoring so yeah, they just have, because of the obstacles, because they're married, they have the highest emotion for him, and I think that's the point. The reason why they're married is again to intensify the emotion and to create obstacles to achieve that. It's a Shakespeare play, and he just uses all the tricks to enhance that emotion. And some of you want that. You want to be a married gopi who is crazy after Krishna, right? And some want a different situation, a different relationship, and that's basically your own choice. It's your own choice, like what kind of relationship that you want. Yeah, that's the point. Goodness. Getting tired. Fine. Where are we? So, well, it was a humbling experience, and then they were singing Gopi Geet. Gopi Geet is again the song of the gopis, and that's in Shrimad Bhagavatam. It's absolute read. That's the peak experience. That's I would say the most important song to learn to sing, Gopi Geet, where they sing about Krishna, about how they miss him, his beauty, and I have to read it again. But it's the most important, right? That's the strongest emotion in the Shrimad Bhagavatam, is their separation from Krishna. It's a key. It's the peak experience. Bhagavad Gita is the peak experience outside of Vrindavan and Mahabharata in Kurukshetra, but Gopi Geet is, in my opinion, the peak experience in Vrindavan, which is written in the Shrimad Bhagavatam, right? Maybe there are other peak experience which are not in Shrimad Bhagavatam, but I would say that's the peak one, because again, the emotion of separation is bigger than the emotion of association, of being together. Like it's stronger to miss somebody than to be and enjoy together. And especially in that case where they got kind of bored and tired, entitled, it's we're the best. Yeah. And And I think, it does nothing to judge. It's something which happens, and all of us have to go through that. We all have to go through that. Yeah. Through those tests. And then obviously at the end of that 1 month trial, he appears again at the same tree where he disappeared with that Radha tree. He reappears there, and the gopis are happy, and then they have another second dance, which is much more intensive, and then there's no more such things like we're the best, or I'm getting tired now, and carry me wherever you want. No more of that, right? Then they really give everything and maintain that level, right? It's not falling off again. And I believe that that's like an internal dance. Like that dance was going on for maybe millions of years. Yeah. Well, it was one moon, full moon night, but I think I would say that that's millions of years that dance was going on. Like it's a never-ending dance. Interaction, and they were really some of them were really angry, like well, how could you do that to us? They were kind of, even when he appeared, they were kind of kind of arrogantly angry with him, or not arrogant, just angry with him, and say, how could you do that with us, behave like that. And some obviously hug him and dedicate themselves to him, and do everything with him. As each has its own different relationship and mood, right? Everyone has its own mood. So and then they were dancing forever. That's it. And that's what I was talking about in that verse of this verse. On the silvery rocks of the river Mandakini, Sita and Ram forever dwell in playful love. Sacred to devotees of Ram, this place sparks the bliss of devotion. So they're eternally in playful love, and we devotedly serve them. Bless you. Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe. And we'll see you again. God bless you.